Amira Woods with Foreign Policy in Focus at the Institute of Policy Study House. Really honored to be here participating in a rally outside the G20 Finance Ministers meeting, and our core message is that the global economy has collapsed because of the decisions being made by a small group of very wealthy men. And what we need to do is to create a system where it is not the bankers, the fat cat bankers, that make decisions and profit off of those decisions, but that the interests of people, the interests of the planet must be protected. So we are here to really push forward a new innovative strategy for raising development finance, for raising money to address the needs of people, particularly poor, marginalized communities around this planet. What we're here to say is that a global transaction tax, which would be a very small adjustment to the financial transaction system, that this type of innovative sourcing of financing is needed desperately to save the planet, particularly communities that are at the brink of real disaster and destruction because of global climate change, to save communities that are struggling with healthcare, particularly with the impact of HIV/AIDS, but really to emphasize the importance of working communities, working people, decent jobs. Those are the needs right now of this global economy. Not fat cat bankers increasing their profits, but ordinary people around this planet already pushing the growth, being able to have the resources for healthcare, education, for those basic needs of healthy societies. This is what's needed here in the U.S. and around the world. And we're here today to raise our voices outside this G20 Finance Ministers meeting to say that decisions being made inside must not push further the power of fat cat bankers, must take into consideration the needs of poor and working communities around this planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here because in that building, right over there, the G20 finance ministers are meeting. We are here because in 2010, with Africa Action, we are campaigning for universal access to treatment, universal access to prevention services, universal access to support for those who are affected by HIV and AIDS. Because of the speculation by the big banks that we are protesting against today, 100 million people were thrown into poverty, and in Africa we did not see a financial crisis, we saw a social crisis because of the impact of the greed and speculative policies of the big banks that we are protesting against today. And our message here today is that we are not begging, we are not here asking for pity, we are here to demand what we are owed. These big banks created the problem, we demand that they become part of creating the solution.
Hello, my name is Bhumika. I represent Third World Network. I wanted to say that developing countries too have been innocent bystanders of this financial crisis. Their governments, their countries have suffered because of the actions of Wall Street and the City of London and the richest country's government. But the developing countries don't have the fiscal space. They don't have the economic ability to do the same things that rich countries can do. They too deserve their fair share of the contributions from the rich country banks. Developing countries too deserve to be able to use the financial transactions taxes for their government. Not before people, but people before profit, and need before greed. So I'm Karen Ornstein. I'm with Friends of the Earth, and we're here as an environmental justice organization that cares about the rights of people and the rights of the planet. And what is the cause of this crisis? It's greed. What is the cause of the climate crisis? It's greed.
To have this tug of war, and the question is, what are those folks inside going to do? This week, the IMF came out with a report. The IMF did a study to say, how do we address the effects of the financial crisis? And they came out, and what they said was, a financial transaction tax is totally possible. Many people have argued that it's not possible for various reasons, and the smartest economists in the world, including Nobel Prize laureates, have said, in fact, it's completely possible. And meanwhile, what would it raise? It would raise, in the United States alone, $150 billion that we need for AIDS, we need for climate, we need for good jobs for people in the United States. Yeah? Yeah! If we did it worldwide, we could raise $400 billion. Yeah. Now the question is, Timothy Geithner, Secretary of the Treasury, are you with us? Or are you with the bankers? We know it's possible. We know it would raise the money we need. So the only question is, whose side are you on? Our side? Or the bankers' side? Our side? Or the bankers' side? And there's not just Secretary Geithner in town. There's also the 19 other finance ministers of the G20 countries, and we say to them, are you for a real financial transaction tax for us, or are you with the bankers? So now we are going to have our final tug of war. Who do we think's going to win? Alright, we're going to have 3 rounds, so let's see who wins. We're going to start with each side doing it 3 times. Ready? So, bankers go first, go! See if you can put them down.
Not for people! They are bonuses!
For jobs! Tax the banks for climate! Tax the banks for AIDS! Jobs now!
Not for people! They are bonuses!
Tax the banks for jobs! Tax the banks for climate! Tax the banks for AIDS! Jobs now!
No. Who cares about the poor people in the world? No. We don't care.